gear review for the KUIU Taku 9000. Just give you a rough guess of the size of it. So that's supposed to be 9,000 cubic inches. It's made out of a waterproof or water resistant type material, waterproof zipper on it. Very well sewn bag. A couple of the great features on this is it does have the handles on the ends as well as the sides, so it gives you great option, or lots of great options to carry it. It also comes with backpack straps that go from the top to the bottom. I don't know if you would ever use them. I took them off myself, and the reason for that was I just didn't want to have my luggage going through the airport baggage handling system and have a strap get caught up, and I was never going to carry this thing like a backpack anyways, so I took that off. The one thing that you'll notice on this bag is on the inside, the bottom is just the same material as the rest of it. There's not like a reinforced bottom or anything on that. I was a little bit concerned with it originally, but it actually worked out quite well. I believe the original intent of this bag, if I remember correctly, I was talking to the KUIU rep about this before, was to actually carry a fully loaded KUIU backpack in here. And the idea was that you would be able to put your backpack in here, check it on as luggage, get to the other end, pull it out, use it, whatever. I found this to be too small to do that. It would definitely fit a backpack, but I found a better solution was actually a hockey bag. Has a reinforced bottom. I was able to put my backpack, my boots, spotting scope, all of the extra jackets, etc. that I want to bring in one bag, versus this one was just a little small. It might be okay in some circumstances, but I just found it a little small to do that. But I did find a better use for this bag that I think would benefit a lot of you guys, and that is for carrying capes and meat. So I did a trip in Nunavut recently, and it was very cold, minus 35 degrees Celsius, so it's incredibly cold. I was worried that this material, because it is kind of a plasticky, rubbery type feeling material, I was worried that it might crack and break, as plastic is prone to do in extremely cold weather, but it never did. It held up great. There's no splits or cracks whatsoever. You do have to watch the blade of your knife though. A sharp knife will poke through the side of this incredibly quickly. I never had that happen to me, but one of the guys I was hunting with had the same bag, and his knife came unsheathed in the bag and it poked through really quick. So that is, you do have to watch for that, but this material is quite tough though. When we were in Nunavut, we had the KUIU meat bags, and of course they are breathable, they leak, blood drains, etc. So what I did was I had several of those meat bags. I filled them with the meat out in the tundra, froze solid overnight, and we had the meat bags in here. I think I had about 75 pounds worth of meat, which was about the max I think that you could check with a check bag, if I remember correctly. So I had the max amount of meat I could in here, and as you know, meat thaws, it starts dripping. This bag was perfect for that, for checking your meat on the airline. When I got to the other end, the meat had barely started to thaw, so I didn't have any issues. But those meat bags do leak a bit, and the inside of the bag did have some blood on it, but it kept everything contained in here, so it wasn't leaking all over the other people's luggage. Everything was contained. It worked incredibly well. The bag held up to 75 pounds, no problem. I was a little bit worried that it might be weak, but the seams were held together, they weren't stretching, the material held up great. There's no issues whatsoever with that. The other really good use I could see for this bag would actually be for putting capes in. If you had a wet cape, like even though they salt them, they still usually are damp and will drip a bit. If you threw your cape in here, zip this up, I think you'd have no issues with it leaking out and getting to the other side. This zipper is a full proper, if you can see that, full proper waterproof zipper on it. Very heavy duty, really good setup actually. This bag actually exceeded my expectations by a fair amount. For the price of it, I think it was about $150 US, and usually for a bag this size or slightly larger, you're looking at about the same kind of money. This one is waterproof or water resistant, so I was a little skeptical that for the price it would be able to hold up, but it held up incredibly well. Definitely for the money, this is the way to go in terms of a waterproof, water resistant bag if you're looking for one. I did look at a couple other bags that were marketed as waterproof, and they were over twice the money. Now those other bags did have a reinforced floor in them and a few extra pockets, but overall it was roughly the same cubic inches, and for half the money this was definitely the way to go. I do recommend putting on your own luggage tags. I've got kind of a permanent one here, another one up the end that I leave on, but really for handling at the airport, like, this is great. You just grab it. I was able to hold this whole entire bag from the one handle to the end, felt that all the meat that I had in there, no problem. And yeah, just overall really good performance. It fully loaded, frozen solid in the Arctic. On those sleds it bounced across the Arctic about 8 hours from where we got our muskox back to town, and the bag held up, never broke, never cracked. This thing was frozen in those conditions for a week solid, and just held up incredibly well. So overall, I'd give this thing about a 4.9 out of 5 stars if I was giving it the star review. I'd recommend it to anybody. The only reason why I don't give it a 5 out of 5 is just it could be a slightly bigger, but and the floor could be reinforced with a flat plate just to give it that stability. But other than that, this was a great bag. It will hold up through the airport. It's definitely worth getting, and it's definitely what I would consider an essential piece of gear if you're a travel hunter. So anyways, I hope you liked the review. Leave your comments below, and if you have a Taku bag of your own, please comment below as well and let me know what you've thought of your bag.